about the 2024-2025 football season. Well, 6-0 they won yesterday over Katsina United, and you could tell that this side that they have moved also 2 places into the 4th position of the Nigeria Premier Football League standing, as they are eyeing that Continental Sports their first season in Nigerian football. So definitely there are no excuses for the likes of Shooting Stars. You talk about some other household name within Nigerian football that how did their season go so bad? Because you take a page out of the book of Ikorodu City, you look at how well they've been doing, and that's since the beginning of the season when things were not going well. They changed their manager, and at this point they are dreaming of playing in continental football in their first season in the top flight of Nigerian football. Also, we discuss about the River Sweepers of Nigeria. Yes, this side were victorious in their game late last night, and you could tell that they've notched the tickets also to be in Egypt for the year 2025. That's talking about the Basketball African League, where they are hoping and aiming to win the title. Well, definitely we discuss these and so many more in today's edition of the show right on 32 FM 94.9. And you know you are listening to the voice of 𝐒𝐿 and SAMIES. We're going to the program this lovely Friday morning. Thank God it's Friday. You know, it's the build-up to the weekend. Lots of games are set to go down across the different centers over the course of this weekend. And for Shooting Stars, they would be in action later today. So definitely, let's join our partners, the BBC, to take a listen to what they have for us concerning the English side. So we were in action yesterday in the Europa League and also the Europa Conference League. You are listening to the voice of 𝐒𝐿 and SAMIES. But first, the BBC Premier League update.
BBC Premier League update from the home of Premier League football.
Hello, I'm Shabnam Yunus-Jewell at the BBC Sports Centre. Manchester United's Europa League quarter-final tie with Lyon is in the balance after goalkeeper Andre Onana was at fault for 2 goals. The first leg at Old Trafford finished 2-2 after a last-gasp Lyon equaliser. Here's United manager Ruben Amorim's reaction when asked about his keeper's mistakes.
It can happen. If you play football and you play a lot of games, you can make mistakes. And if you look at the season, I make more mistakes than them during these last games and during these last months. So that can happen. The good thing is that we have one more game to change everything. So that should be our focus.
Tottenham had to settle for a 1-1 home draw against Eintracht Frankfurt, whose goalkeeper denied Spurs a winner again and again. After Pedro Porro equalised, Cauã Santos made a number of brilliant saves. Tottenham boss Ange Postecoglou says he couldn't really have asked for much more from his side.
With our ability to break teams open, we put them under pressure, and it's exactly what happened, and the boys did everything right. I can't ask any more. I mean, I think we've hit the crossbar 3 times. The keeper's pulled off some amazing saves, and Sofno had a couple of good opportunities as well. So on any other night, we'd have a comfortable victory.
Teenager Tyreek George scored his first senior Chelsea goal as they beat Legia Warsaw 3-0 away to take control of their Conference League quarter-final. And there is a growing expectation at Liverpool that captain Virgil van Dijk will join forward Mohamed Salah in signing a new contract in the not-too-distant future. Following months of discussions, it's understood Van Dijk is extremely close to signing what would be a new 2-year contract. Salah, too, is in advanced negotiations over a similar contract. And for more football news from the BBC, go to bbc.com/football.
BBC Premier League update from the home of Premier League football.
All right, there you listened to the BBC Premier League update, telling us some more about what we expected to know from the games that went down yesterday in the Europa League and also the Europa Conference League. But trust myself and Peter, and maybe blessing to be here this afternoon to discuss about Andre Onana. Well, I remember that it was just about Onana and the Mathematic that's ahead of the game yesterday. But after the game, the Mathematic would definitely be saying he's having the last laugh. But then let's move away from that and go straight to Morocco and talk about the Under-17 African Cup of Nations competition going on there. And for the host nation, they defeated South Africa to advance into the semi-finals of the CAF Under-17 African Cup of Nations. Well, 3-1 in the one yesterday at the Mohamed Dia to secure their place there in the semi-finals, backed by passionate crowds. You will tell that it was a good home competition for Morocco, but then Burkina Faso also defeated Zambia to reach the semi-final 6-1. They defeated Zambia in the quarterfinals to reach the semi-finals for a second consecutive season. So early dominance. That was what set the tone for that's Zambia, Burkina Faso in that encounter over Zambia. All right, coming home, let's talk about the Nigerian football. The Super Eagles of Nigeria. Well, you know that Brentford's GTEC Community Stadium will host the Unity Cup 2025 involving Nigeria, Ghana, Jamaica, and the Trinidad and Tobago. Well, the tournament will kick off with the first semi-final between Jamaica and Trinidad and Tobago. That's on Tuesday, that's May 27. And the second semi-final will be perennial rivals. It's all about the Ghana Jollof and the Nigerian Jollof, but it's all about the action on the field of play. Nigeria against Ghana. Remember the last time we played against Ghana, it was a friendly game and we won by 2-1. Cyril Desas, Musa Simon, these both players were on target in that encounter. But then all four teams will return on Saturday, May 31st for the grand finale with the losers of the semi-final fixture featuring the third place game. And that's before the final to determine the Unity Cup 2025 champions. Well, remember that the Super Eagles also are scheduled to face off against Russia in another friendly game that's in the month of June. So for the manager, Eric Sekuchal, well, you tell that he's having a great day friendly games to play at this point in time. And then the Nigeria Premier Football League, Ikorodu City, like I said earlier, they recorded the biggest win in the NPFL this season when they trashed Katsina United by 6-0. Ayomide Cole scored a brace. Tosio Yedokun, Oladimeji Dada, Shola Delani, and Emmanuel Solomon, they scored the other goals for Ikorodu City yesterday. They called them the Oga Boys. And then you will tell that they are showing signs of being an Oga that's in the Nigeria Premier Football League. But then you take a look at the NPFL standing at this point in time. You look at how teams stand in the NPFL. Talking about how the season has gone thus far after 32 games being played. But ahead of looking at the table, Bayelsa United will be up against the Shooting Stars later today. But we take a look at the standings in the Nigeria Premier Football League, and then we'll say that for Remo Stars, who are unable to win in their outstanding games, still top the table with 61 points. Rivers United are second with 55. Abia Warriors are third with 50 points. And then Ikorodu City, just 1 point ahead of the Oluyole Warriors. They are fourth on the NPFL standing with 49 points. And of course, with a better goal difference, 14 compared to Shooting Stars' 4-goal difference. Well, let's move away from the NPFL now and talk about some other sporting stories which involves the River Sweepers of Nigeria. Well, talking about the River Sweepers of Nigeria, well, it was a great one for them and also the flag bearers of Nigeria as they officially qualified for the main round of the Basketball African League in South Africa after a stunning 79-71 comeback win over FUS Rabat there in the Kalahari Conference. After letting FUS Rabat control the game for 3 quarters, the Kingsmen, they flipped the script in the 4th quarter, dominating both ends of the court to seal the historic win. Well, you could tell that Madut Akeka led the charge with 17 points and 8 rebounds, while Arafia Putney delivered 14 points with several timely buckets. Peter Olisimaka with a force inside with a 13 point, 12 rebound double-double, and then Munanga added 11 points. Kevin Amayo, he came closer to a triple-double with 16 points, 8 rebounds, and 7 assists. Well, the River Sweepers, they are now headed to where? South Africa, making Nigeria proud once again on the continental stage. So the biggest feat for them now is to surpass what they did last year where they came third. If they can eye for that the better podium, first or second, gold or silver, that's what Coach Ogodaudu and the rest of the boys are definitely aiming for. Talking about the River Sweepers. All right, so we'll come later in the afternoon to take a look at the games set to go down over the course of this weekend across different centers. And then we just talk about the games proper. But just have at the back of your mind, by 4 p.m. Bayelsa United will be up against the Shooting Stars as we aim to maybe just put up a sport in order to qualify for continental sport this season. But in France, there would be game. In Germany, there would be game. In Italy, there would be game also, where AC Milan and Samuel Chukwueze would be in action. Well, thanks so much to everyone who has joined us on today's edition of the program. Will come later in the afternoon, 3:30 on Scoreboard Reloaded, to definitely reload all the headlines and also take a look at what we have this weekend. I am SAMIES, your sports captain. I say do enjoy the rest of your day, and bye for now.